Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Phoenix's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Phoenix's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Earth Spirit.
Phoenix's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Axe.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our coverage of the WCA 2016. This is going to be an awesome best of 3 matchup between TNC Pro Team and MVP Phoenix. Very excited to bring you here the English coverage today on Hitbox here from the UCC League. And I'm going to be your caster, Annie, aka Android, and I'm not alone. I am being joined by my wonderful co-caster, Sindar. How's it going, man?
Phoenix's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
All right, and we're starting things out with some crazy picks here. Already Earth Spirit, Axe, Lich, and Alk, some of the biggest heroes in this meta. Earth Spirit obviously will be a nice little helper rotating around. Could spend a lot of time in the mid lane. Could even be a dual mid here if they're looking for something like a Mirana to go ahead and set up those arrows. And Axe as well should be a nice frontliner, but he does fall off pretty late in the game, whereas Alchemist, he scales very nicely until 50, 60 minutes.
Phoenix's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, absolutely here. So now going in, we still have no mid laner picked up for MVP Phoenix, which, you know, you don't expect for the first 2 picks. You got to grab up those much needed banned out heroes. What do you think they're going to throw in the mid lane? What goes well up against the Alchemist? What combos well with the Axe and the Earth Spirit? Are they going to go for a Mirana if they can get it, or do they have other plans in mind?
Ten seconds remaining. Phoenix's turn to pick.
Oh, I'm so excited. Absolutely. And I mean, you add that to an already beefy lineup, they're just going to charge in and go at you with no remorse. So we'll see what they're going to grab up here. Again, there are still 3 picks on the field, so lots of room for upsets. They're picking up the Phoenix, which I love. Sunray is a absurdly good spell, fantastic at healing up the team, especially Axe, who's going to be jumping into the front lines and can be used very nicely offensively. And that percent-based damage will be fantastic against Alchemist once he starts to get big and beefy in the late game.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Lion.
Phoenix's turn to pick.
Juggernaut.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, they're going to go in, and that means this is going to be most likely an offlane Axe, could be a dual Axe, having a buddy in lane to help him, and MVP Phoenix, they don't have a lot of babysitters. Phoenix is great in terms of health regen, but Juggernaut may struggle with mana. Usually when Jug is picked up, you see someone that picks up Arcane Boots typically. You know, a CM might be nice, but he's going to be very much on his own, and I hope he gets what he needs to be sustainable in lane.
Reserve time.
Yeah, we'll have to see here, because Juggernaut does come online very early, and what I'm seeing out of Phoenix is a pretty oriented, you know, their draft is going to peak around 20-25 minutes as soon as Jug gets that first big item. Axe is going to have a Blink Blade Mail, he's going to jump in, try to go for kills online and Lich while he still can, and, you know, if they get a lot of successful pickups, MVP will be snowballing, no problem, but TNC, if they manage to play this very, very safe in the early game, then they completely own the late game.
Phoenix's turn to
Absolutely. And it's a little scary for TNC forced into this situation where you know that, you know, there's so much damage potential in these fights, but if they can dodge, the nice thing for them is that the pressure is all on MVP making the actions, to be making the plays. And if they screw up some of those moves, 1 or 2 failed smokes and don't find timings, and like you said, this Alk is going to be out of control, and with the puck for control as well. 13 isn't horrible either, so TNC definitely have what it takes to step up against MVP. This game goes longer than 25-30 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely worry for MVP, and so I guess they're just going to go all full-out Deathball early game, and that means for their mid laner, who are they looking to pick up? Are we going to see a Death Profit for MVP?
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Last fan out against TNC is a Clockwork, because I think MVP are feeling that counter initiation. They don't want to get caught out. They don't want to get punished for their positioning, because Axe, Earth Spirit, Phoenix, all heroes that very much rely on getting the jump on you. If they are jumped on themselves, not as strong, not as beefy. So TNC, they're looking for positioning tools. They already picked up the puck. They have the Earth Spike of the Lion, and, well, Viper as the final pick. Not what I would have expected, but I think it might be that damage spray that TNC need in the early game to get themselves online in the late game.
Yeah, so it looks like it may be an Alchemist safe lane, and I really like that choice. They understand what MP is going for here, and they decide that if they just pressure early, have that nice tank mid laner with the Viper who's not as vulnerable to ganks, then they can just rely on the Alch mid lane, and it won't matter if the Viper falls past 30 minutes, as he is liable to do. Does that make it an offlane puck, do you think?
Honestly, yeah, it could be. It could be helped out by the Lich. Lich is going to be great here with that ice armor, making everyone a little bit tanky if Axe calls them, if Juggernaut starts slapping on them. MVP, they do have one chance to respond to this Viper, so they're going to want to pick up someone with a decent amount of armor, with a decent amount of dodge, or just straight into a Dusa. You know, that works too. Oh god, yeah. So MVP, I really like the fact that they start strong with the Axe, the mid game is going to be all on the Juggernaut, and then late game transitions to the Dusa, so they've got this really nice power scale. The problem is if Juggernaut gets completely shut down, then there's a huge window mid game where TNC can just run over MVP.
Thanks to that Mystic Snake against mana dependent heroes like the Viper, like he wants to be able to orb walk with a Q, and if Medusa can drain his mana with that snake, it just does so much damage. You can get the bounces right, so Q should have a relatively good time as the Viper in mid.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
I don't know. I think I have to give MVP the draft edge here,
5
as
seconds remaining.
with the Medusa counter the Alchemist late game, I think they have
Oh god.
exactly what they need.
I accidentally all my weather effects. So first game we're going to play with a lot of Aurora going on, but I will fix that for game 2. HUD for you. Oh, fancy. So one thing I do want to point out is MVP are 3 strength heroes and 2 agi heroes, and TNC have a nice balance across the board. So MVP could end up struggling with mana. Earth Spirit may end up picking up those Greaves. Phoenix doesn't typically do so. Axe, most likely going to go Tranquils, could also go Arcanes. I just worry that if MVP are taking too many full-on fights, their mana pools are going to run dead drop.
They do have a lot of HP game though, and like you said, they can find at least 2 arcane boots. Potentially, you know, it might not be terrible for Axe to go them this game, but honestly, they don't really need them. Phoenix can go for a soul if she needs them, and you know, Jug, he can struggle a little bit, but it's not the end of the world for him as long as he manages his spells well.
All right, so we are heading into game number 1 of a best 3 between MVP Phoenix and the TNC Pro team here in the WCA 2016. Once again, I'm going to be your caster, Amy, aka Android, and I am being joined by Sindar. He's going to be helping me out on the analysis because I am a bit of a stranger to some Chinese Dota. We got SEA teams here, but for now we're going to have Forev on MVP going up pretty aggressively. He is holding onto a ward and could look to go for a block, but he'd have to walk into a lot of unfriendly territory.
30 seconds.
This is just so cheeky from Forev. He's like, yeah, I've got my entire team behind me, I swear. Don't check, but it's true. And just daring them to come at him.
Speaking
And
of his entire
he's
team,
tanky
looks
enough to
like
get away.
yeah, his entire team will be backing him up, and that means no one going to be opting for this top rune just yet. Very neglected. A little bit of a sad spot on the map. No one loves it, but down bottom. Now, Forev might have bitten off more than he can chew. He goes in. He wants to act all tough. Will end up taking a Frost Blast from the Lich, and that's actually going to be really costly. Now, Raven is going to go through. They're going to go on to Dubu as the first target. Earthspike connecting on 3. Fantastic play by the Lion, but Cuckoo might not be able to live through this. Fempi will be the first blood as Viper spraying up those poison attacks. Now, Kyo looking to go down. Roshan will not get the deny. It's going to be massacres here near the Roche pit. Bottom rune is so goddamn bloody. It's going to be right now a 2-for-1 trade coming out in favor of MVP, or rather TNC.
That's why I love watching these teams. It's nothing but fights, about blood. Neither of them wants to back down. They're both just so eager to fight, and it's always entertaining. And it looked like it could be a little weak for TNC with that roll in from the Earth Spirit, but a little too much level 1 damage, and they do get the better end of that trade.
Who even got the runes? I can't see as there was just too much blood. I want to say Alchemist got one because although he didn't scale Grieful's Greed.
Yeah, it just wants the safe play with the acid spray. It's a little bit easier for him to stand in lane against, and it will be the Viper safe lane. Interesting to note. Do decide to run the Alchemy, but does have that Lich baby star, so...
Oh, bottom, there is going to be that rolling boulder in. Raven might be in some trouble, does have those poison attacks, can go for the slow, and even big beefy guys like the Axe and the Earth Spirit can't get it done. Meanwhile, mid, Teehee wants to go in onto QO, and he does have another point to level up pretty soon, 1 more creep, and he should have that level 2 for himself. Down bottom here, there's going to be an Earth Spike onto Forev. Oh god, these poison attacks do not stop. Viper is so dirty early game, and now Forev, he's going to be helixing, but cannot manage to live through this, and, well, gonna have that 1 tango. He doesn't have his tranquils just yet, needs about 400 more gold for those, and that's gonna be a much-needed item in lane up against this Viper.
Yeah, and I think as long as we can survive with action for a couple because I'd like to draw your attention to or skill build. He has not gone for a single point in corrosive skin, so fully aggressive build coming out from him, not playing defensive at all. And this can be a little bit of a surprise if you're used to the traditional way that pros build Viper, which is usually the tanky defensive kind of build. You can underestimate his damage if you're not used to it. And go forward onto Cuckoo.
Cuckoo's A-okay here. Still has that Earth Spike, pretty much full mana. Does have that level 2 holding on to the second point. Could go for the mana drain if he needs more utility. He has got Hex available to himself. So we'll see what's going down there as well, I want to go check on mid here as Kimo is pretty low. We've got Tiki sitting here. No points in that unstable concoction. Just going to go for that acid spray. But again, mana problems actually showing themselves on the side of TNC. Speaking of mana problems, Lich, who leveled Frostblast first, has found that level 2 for the sacrifice, so won't be too far behind. But the Phoenix sitting here ready to go with that Icarus dive into the Sunray. Maybe Kimo wants to go for this. Has a Mystic Snake available, is going into the mana shield. Febby wants to get the most out of this Invis rune. Will he reveal himself just yet? He's sitting here on the high ground. He wants to go. He's ready for someone to just pull that trigger. But for now, Tiki looks like he'll be backing off. And AU is here. Does have that Frost Blast for the slow. So Febby may just let that Invis rune run out. In fact, that will be the play. Bird not able to find any kills just yet.
Yeah, he was looking for the right opportunity, but doesn't see it, so wisely decides not. It's really hard to gank a Medusa lane. She really doesn't offer a lot to some rather low right click, but he decides not to try it. Doesn't want to risk his own life. It's fine.
Oh, here they're going to go in onto Raven down bottom. Rolling boulders off the mark. They do get the boulder smash going through, and there is going to be an Earth Spike defending. Nice double stun from Cuckoo, but Viper may still end up losing his life here. He's going to be battle hungered out. It will expire, so he's just going to go back to spraying damage on the axe. And you know, Viper, even with only 1 point in that corrosive skin, is doing a fantastic job up against Axe. You mentioned how aggressive his build is in this early game, and it's absolutely working out. Axe can't get the jump on him.
Yeah. Has chosen so far not to go for one in Berserker's Call. The Battle Hunger can do work in lane, but against a great last like Viper, the full duration damage out on it are not great. So I really want to see him pick up a point and call. It's so crucial to him to have any in this.
Cuckoo actually just going in for the harass onto Dubu, but may not be successful. He could get rotated around on Axe, will come in. They're going to get the kill onto the Earth Spirit. Now mid lane, we've got Lich rotating through. Might want to go in, turning onto Farev now. Farev came through to try to defend his support, but may end up paying with his life. Looks like he will be speedy enough to get up to the high ground. And Raven going to be going 1v1 up against the Axe. Again, no points in that call, so not able to go in and lock him down, but maybe for the best, as Viper's corrosive skin could end up doing a decent amount of tick damage.
Yeah, he has gone for the second point in Battle Hunger. So going for that harass kind of... And we just lost the Phoenix.
He, I believe, was either trying to stack and died, and I don't think that was intentional. But he does have a little bit of gold, or a small amount of gold, rather, so maybe he just bought out and went down like a champ.
Yeah. So far, it's a pretty good start for TNC, rather. And it was the Ursa who initiated onto Cuckoo there in the river, pays with his life. And the fact that Cuckoo basically gets so XP for that kill is really nice for him. He's now sitting at halfway to level 4. So doing just fine for himself. He's going to have a really nicely timed 6 at this rate. You compare that to Febby, who's only just hit 3 fix. And
yeah, but what does Lion 6 really get done here? Because there's not a whole lot of super squishy targets, like maybe the Earth Spirit, but everyone else has tools to deal with that nuke. Now Farev will be going through. We'll take an Earth Spike. There's Icarus dive in from the Phoenix. He has the Sunray available. We'll be popping it out. Raven may end up losing his life, but wants to take one with him. We'll get the kill on the Axe first. Now roll in from Dubu, gets the stun here onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo takes a little bit of Sunray, but will end up backing up under tower. So Viper for an Axe. Dead even trade, but overall, the Axe did fall first, so Viper gets that XP, and that's setting him halfway up to 6 here at 5 minutes in the game.
Yeah, and the Viper Strike against Axe is going to be just so irritating. It acts incredibly well and makes it really hard for him to do anything in this lane. So the fact that Viper is so far ahead of Farev in terms of XP is a bit of a problem for the Axe. They may have to just abandon this lane at some point and go jungle, or they need to rotate other supports in to give him a hand.
I mean, Axe has the tools to go just hop right into the jungle. He's got that Stout Shield and the Tranquils, but he wants to sit here because it is just a nicer chunk of XP. But again, if he goes down, Raven's going to be very well set up for this mid game.
Yeah. And the one lane we haven't really discussed at all, because it's been boring, is this off lane, where it's just MP and Sammy Armfed. This puck in the off laner is actually the last hit leader on his team. And that could be a problem. for the side of MVP is basically the offlane puck getting mid lane free farm, more or less. And they are
down
rotating in
here.
on him.
Huo goes in with the snake to try to take away some of Alchemist's farm, but up top I think this could be the bigger kill as Puck may end up getting cut here. Has the phase shift and the illusory orb, but there might just be too many bodies and too much fire going down. The fairy dragon is burning, will get stunned up. Illusory orb's down to the low ground. The Sunray not able to catch him out. Meanwhile, in the jungle, we've got Huo now getting rotated on by the Lich and Cuckoo, and he's going to have that mana shield doing its work, but he's fresh out of mana now, will be taking full damage, and does go down to the Lich with one final Frost Blast burst.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay on the top lane as Earth Spirit did not get the silence out on Sam H, and as a result, more than capable of dodging that gank. If they had got the silence out, then MP could have thrown Omni Slash, it would be killed. But the fact that they don't get the kill, and they lose their mid laner.
Febby trying to regen up to the best of his ability, has that magic stick, and now, Sam H goes down, they lose the Phoenix, but Omni Slash debut from the Juggernaut will get the kill onto the Puck, much needed kill that will set him back in terms of farm, and that will give Juggernaut a little bit of an edge here. He is our last hit leader. If we go ahead and switch over to net worth on this game of crazy kills, he's going to be second on the chart.
Bot lane.
Oh god, bot lane, it's all going down here as Fareb will end up going down again to the Viper. That's Viper's 4th kill of the game. Great job on him, and now he's going to be able to pick up his first big item. Has his power treads, has that Aquila. He's starting to feel really, really nice. He's already level 7.
Yeah, and this is exactly what TNC wanted the Viper for this game. He's going to get a nice, good start. He's 4 kills already, doing quite well in terms of net worth, even with the Juggernaut. So he's able to farm, carry early, and just help his team dominate the early to mid game so that Alchemist has the space to come online, get his farm on. He's only gone for 2 points of people's greed, but will be looking for more once he gets the arm with him. And I really like the drafting decision from them. And 7-3 score, they're really doing well in the lane. Well, we've got a bit of pause. I'm never going to commit to saying there's going to be no action with these two teams as the percentage gets away. So, I mean, MVP, they're the team that is favored to win this matchup as bet. So they've had great success this year internationally. They've been doing really well, winning we play, winning or coming in first in. I forget what the tournament name is now.
Can't help you up, man. I've been spending my time in South America.
They got 2 big first place wins this year. So they are paper favored to win this. TNC, a team they play all the time, and probably one of the teams in the world knows MVP the best. So if anyone can take them down here, it is TNC. And so far they're showing it. They have read MVP's veins and movements like a book, and they've capitalized on it.
We got our TI-6 courier going through. But meanwhile, on the side of MVP, there is going to be damage up top. Juggernaut has been completely left alone. He picked up an assist, but no kills, no deaths. He's just sitting back, getting farmed. He'll be flying himself out some goodies. That's going to be his wand and some wards. So, I mean, how much longer, if you're TNC, can you just let the Juggernaut go?
I don't think they're worried too much. I think the focus has to be on QO. They can deal with a Juggernaut late game. They cannot deal with a Medusa.
The scan from the Radiant reveals that someone's here, and now Dubu is going to be in some trouble, but the Stone Gaze from the Medusa is going to slow him down, stopping this cake before it even starts, and a Rolling Boulder in. They will be able to catch out Cuckoo. There's a silence coming out from the Puck. Reinitiate comes in, triple man, Dream Coil. Juggernaut is spinning, won't have the pop from the Dream Coil. Will be able to kill on the Lion, on the backline. Lich gets the kill on the Dusa. Okay, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's going wildly south here as more and more deaths just keep racking up. Now Febby in some trouble. 1 hit, 2 hits from the Viper, triple kill for him. Now Fareb goes in, gets the Battle Hunger onto Teehee, but it's not even going to matter. Fareb is the only survivor on his team. It's a 2-for-4 trade. And oh man, TNC get everything they want. You talked about TNC knowing MVP better than anyone else, and that was perfect. They knew the jump points, they knew the counter initiation, and they played that near flawlessly.
Yeah, and I mean, the ball's on MVP to go into that after they know that TNC sees them coming. All the 3 TPs, TNC knew exactly what they were planning. The TPs were staggered, so it was kind of 1-by-1 heroes go in. And a beautiful 2-hero impale from the Lion sets that all up. And they get the Puck really, really low. But, I mean, Sam H has had an amazing time in here. 1-1-3. He's only a few hundred left of his dagger as an 11 minutes. This is fantastic for him.
Yeah, that Dream Coil was awesome there, and we know Phoenix to be this unbelievable team fight machine, can zone out with his ult, but unfortunately, just level 5.25, no Supernova for this bird just yet, and MVP, the decision to fight without that Supernova available was a bit questionable. They wanted to go in, they wanted to get the kills, and they wanted to maybe counter-initiate the fight, but may as well cut your losses at that point, because without a Supernova, you don't have a lot of tools to get TNC back.
Yeah, this is the weakness of running these two kind of both the supports on MVP spend a lot of time roaming from lane to lane, trying to get kills, trying to defend heroes. As a result, neither of them have 6 yet, and that's going to be a problem as both of those level 6s are very, very significant. You've got your Magnetize, you've got your Phoenix, both incredibly important team fight spells. Without them, MVP definitely cannot take a final net engage.
Alright, so top lane, we will have the pressure. QL looking to finish off this tower. Radiant do not have a Fortify to get it done, but there is going to be a illusory orb in from Set H. Gets the silence. They're starting with a Shade Frost. It will be bouncing around to creeps, unfortunately. But oh, the damage just unloaded onto QL. And that's going to be a dead Dusa. That is going to be Medusa's 4th death of the game. 0-4-3 on the Snake Lady. Really not a great place to be if you want to scale up well in the late game.
Yeah, she's 5th on net worth, which is a big problem. As the fact that she's so far behind means that she's going to have a harder and harder time contributing to fights, which means that MVP are going to be constantly 4v5. And, oh, SMH, that's a big pick.
Kind of. I mean, Sam H got what he wanted in the top lane anyway. He had a death timer on him, and, it's going to be 30 seconds, no puck. Not really detrimental at that point.
It's more the fact that they delay his blink deck back down to 1900 gold. So the longer that they can keep that off of TNC, the better. As once he has that, TNC will really be looking to take those fights.
Alright, so Teehee here, he's doing pretty well in terms of net worth, now has those 4 points in Grievous Greed. He's at the top of the net worth chart, no surprise. He's picked up his armlet, looks like he is saving up for a Radiant and should have it very well timed. But, our counter mid here on the Dusa, she's pretty dead poor, picks up a Bracer for more survivability.
Yeah, Medusa, I don't know what she gets. It looks like she may be going for a drum unless that's the casual Bracer, but so little to work with at this point, and that's a problem against the heavy burst damage. I mean, you mentioned earlier, way back, we were talking about Lion's Finger and how, that burst damage against these key heroes not really ideal. But have that against a weak Dusa, enabling them to blow through her mana shield that much faster. It's going to make a big difference that she's this far behind against the puck, against the and against that finger.
I mean, if we're talking ultra late, like 70-80 minutes, Dusa can outcarry an Alk, can outcarry a Viper, but the problem is getting her there. Can MVP live long enough? The kill score's already doubled up against them, and, well, it's looking pretty good as TNC going to be picking up their first pick. Alk at mid lane, this could be big. Axe has a blink. He's looking for a jump, could catch out the Viper, and it's a dangerous play, but they may need to go for it. They will go in, get the call. There's going to be a Sunray in the backline. Nice silence up. The Green Code connects onto 2, and now Phoenix is going to be Icarus diving around, goes for the Supernova, will get it for Rev, has a Chain Frost bouncing around for now. Everyone is still alive. Line getting low, may end up dropping, but Axe is going to be the first casualty. Puck goes down as well, so it will be a 1-1 trade so far. And now Phoenix goes in, wants to get more here, getting the Lich, burning down on the backlines. Looks like Lion will end up living through the Magnetize. So again, it will be a 1-for-1 trade. Lion ends up okay, and this may be a tower push for MVP, but TNC, they don't lose their Alk, they don't lose their Viper, they're still feeling A-okay. They're reinitiating here on the backline, they may get the Lich, there will be a Sunray there to continue to burn him down. He will end up dropping, and now Viper actually goes in trying to get more harassed, but may end up giving up his life. He's just going in a little bit too deep here, maybe trying to force back the push, but I don't know if he can do it all alone. Brings the Lion in from the high ground. Lion is still super duper low, has those Tranquils helping him out, but looks like Viper will end up losing the tower now with a return in from the Alk coming in with the unstable concoction. MVP may end up going down. Nice call from the Axe though. Whoa, this is gonna be bad. Teehee getting super low. Even the Chemical Rage can't save him for now. Axe going through with the dunk will not connect because the armlet. And now Dubu is gonna get slapped down by the Viper, but Viper is super low himself. Has to watch out here for Rev. Will end up going down without using the Culling Blade. And now we've got Dubu running for his life. Looks like Medusa is still dead for a decent amount of time. Up top, Puck was able to get the Juggernaut. Very big pick. Once again, only the sports alive for MVP Phoenix. TNC, what looked like a lost fight, continued to go in their favor as they rotated back through and didn't give up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So that TNC is just a little too far ahead right now for MVP to take that fight. There was an amazing call from the Axe. It looked incredibly TNC just a little too tanky at this point. They're just a little too far ahead as far as levels go, and that means that they get very low but don't die. They can turn around, re-engage with the sustain they've got thanks to the chemical rage. And I mean, if they'd managed to find the Alk, it would have been huge, but they don't get him. And even earlier than that, before that the tower fight happened, you saw the jump in from Axe. They find solo call onto the Viper, but can't burst him down. The rest of his team is there, and these
speaking of burst,
been a point.
Huo way out of position here, is going to be stuck in that Dream Coil, has the mana shield, doing the best it can, does not have mana for the Stone Gaze. Now Huo is getting slapped down, will go down to the Viper, mega kill streak for him. Febby next on the menu, just one more hit should do it. Now Farev goes in, gets a double man call, Duper looking for something to capitalize on. Sam H may be the pick here, but Raven still up, still fighting on the back lines. That Viper doing so much damage now. Oh man, triple kill for the Viper, MVP. They may end up getting wiped here as the Juggernaut. He's looking for some way to get out of here. He doesn't have a TP. He's just going to try to man fight and will not be successful. Lion getting that pick, and now Viper may end up looking for more. May just show some restraint and go on the tower here, but either way, 4-man wipe onto MVP Phoenix, only trading away the Puck and the Lich. This is just going so well for TNC. At this point in the game, the Alk, he's dominating the net worth chart. Viper is next up, and Dusa just rapidly losing momentum.
Rapidly losing momentum is an understatement. I mean, she's sitting at about 1,000 gold behind the offlane Puck. She's sitting on Fade Aquila Drones at 17.5 minutes into the game. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than this. And Kyo has not gone for a single point in split dot, so he does not have that farming tool. He will not be able to farm his way back into this game. He's gone for a very fight-oriented build, and they are not winning the fights. 0-6-6 on this Dusa, one of his weak showings.
Okay, here in the mid lane, Farev will get a nice call here onto the Lich, but even if he gets the kill, which looks like he will not be able to do, it's a support Lich who, you know, he's surpassing the net worth of the Earth Spirit, and he's also just helping out in these fights. Chain Frosts haven't been super on point, but the Ice Armors have been great. Throwing an Ice Armor onto that Viper makes him almost unkillable at this point. Now Sam H, invised up, there's going to be no tower to give him vision, wants to go on to Farev, has the Dream Coil at the ready, but that's an ambitious pick if he decides to go for it. And we'll have to see here as he does try to go, and Axe gets the blink away. A little bit of lag here coming out, don't know if that's me or the server, but either way, Dubu maybe scout it out here up top. That's a pick that Puck can get. We'll maybe start out with that Dream Coil. Could they going through? Has the rest of TNC at his back, and that's going to be the start of it. They go in with the Dream Coil. They get the winning rift. There's going to be a sentry put down from Dubu, but one Shane Frost means that that guy just gets sniped.
That's some solid hitman. And I mean, I don't think I've seen a single Dream Coil this game that has not been followed up by Chain Frost. Saving them specifically for that. It's worked out really well for them so far. As those two spells together, it's really terrifying. You're trying to decide, okay, do I run away? How far away can I run to dodge the Chain Frost without breaking the coil? It really throws your mind into disarray. You don't have time to focus on the heroes that are slowly beating you down.
Yeah, here, let's look at item pickups. Lion has found his Blink Dagger on top of his Tranquils and the Magic Wands and a bunch of wards, so he is now the richest support on the map with a net worth of almost 4k, which not too bad here, but if we check out Alchemist, quadrupling him up at over 16k. He's now picked up his Manta on top of his Armlet and his Boots of Travels and his Radiance. This guy is, I mean, obviously not 6-slotted because he's got a lot of improvement, but he has his full toolkit at the ready. There will be a full smoke up aside from the Dusa on the side of MVP. They will catch out the Lion.
Oh.
Lion's able to blink away. Reaction time. Holy hell. Scouts out the movement. They're able to rotate everyone back. Tiki gets that warning sign from his team that it may be time to run away. He does have those travels in 10 seconds. Can he make sure to be safe underneath the tower? MVP are hungry. They desperately want to find him, but they will not be successful this time. He's got that TP out if he needs it, but there's actually going to be a counter smoke up on TNC. They're looking to fight. Once again, Alchemist, he's got full health, full mana. He wants to go for something smoke. Will pop, blinking from the Lion, gets the Hex onto MP. And now MP just going to be standing there, fished up. Rev goes for the call, but might not be able to find anything here. Phoenix doing what he can. Nice zoning egg. Will be able to get the burn damage onto Raven. Raven may end up falling. Will be the trade. Sprays out his ult before he goes down, though. MP taking off the damage for now. This is not looking so good. It's going to be an axe for a Viper. Okay, there's the Dream Coil, ripping them apart. The Alk comes through. Puck getting a kill onto Air Spirit Lich, following up on the Juggernaut. Alk taking out the Dusa, and that looks like Phoenix will fall as well. It's a wipe, only losing the Viper. Obviously, you never want your position core to fall, but for the entire enemy team, yeah, that's a worthwhile trade. Almost 2k gold, over 5,300 XP going the way of TNC. Now here at 21 minutes in the game, the XP is over 10,000. The gold even more, so almost 15,000 in favor of TNC. How does MVP catch back up?
Well, it's tough, right? They've got to rely on using their teamfight ults really effectively, and they've not found a good chance to do so. And we saw B used there. It was relatively effective as it did force TNC to run, but there wasn't anything really holding him in place for the damage, the stun to come out. As a result, it's not as effective as it could be. If they find the perfect combination of Stone Gaze into Phoenix Egg into everything else, then they definitely have the tools to win a fight. And Alka's huge, but with Call, with the HP percent base damage of Sunray, with the Omni Slash, they do have the tools to take him down. It requires perfect execution from them. And we're not seeing that from them yet this game.
They're going to have Puck filling up his bottle with a double damage rune. Going to be a scary fairy dragon. Has that dream coil at the ready. Could be looking for some kills here up in the dire jungle. But for now, I think TNC are very content to sit back. They're enjoying their power spike. The Alchemist will continue to hold strong onto that net worth lead. Way more than doubling up the Juggernaut. And, well, that's going to be, again, continuing for the next 20 or so minutes unless MVP have a series of extraordinary team fights. And, well, up top, Alk is chabeling up the Unstable Concoction. Will connect onto Dusa. She's got the mana shield, but not for long. Look at that mana just get shoved down. Now the Sunray from the Phoenix trying to keep him alive, but the burn damage from the Alchemist will be enough to get him a killing spree on the Dusa. Dusa is now 1, 8, and 6. It seems like at this point she's dead weight for her team, and MVP, they've got to look for their carry potential elsewhere. Juggernaut is picking up the Yasha, so could go for the SNY farming, could go straight into Manta. He's picked up the Diffusal, which I really do like the Diffusal pick. I think that's going to be fantastic for taking off the Alk stun, for getting away from any sort of, you know, follow-up damage and being able to go in and use it aggressively if they do catch a window for that.
Yeah, and I mean, QO has been called repeatedly a feast or famine mid laner. He either does incredibly well for his team or just seems to fall apart. And unfortunately, QO prefers those kind of mobile, active heroes that can take control of a game really. He likes the Slark, he likes...
I gotta cut you off there. His axe just gets handled by TNC. They go in, they do unload the Lion ultimate, which is kind of big at this point. Lion does not have that Aghanim Scepter, so it's a long cooldown, but you've got Alchemist just going in, ripping apart these tier 3 towers like it's absolutely nothing, and you've got MP on this Jug trying to do his best to go in and cut the wave, but at this point all of Dire's attention is focused on this mid lane pushing, and down bottom he's still got Elk farming, gets the tower deny. He has a completed Octarine for God's sakes at 23 minutes on top of 4 other items. This guy's absurdly farmed. He's 21,000 net worth at 24 minutes in the game. He's almost 1,000 GPM. We're not even at late game yet.
Yeah, and this is them just playing their draft exactly as they wanted to, perfectly. You had the Lich picked up first to secure him the mid lane with those denies.
Radiant get a scan revealed onto Febby, so they do scout out a smoke gank. They don't know exactly where it's headed. They know it's probably somewhere mid, probably going towards the river, but that does give a window for MVP to push in this lane. They know someone was revealed in the secret shop, and then they walked out.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's no way that MVP defend this tower. They'll just give it up as unless they can make some kind of sneaky backstab. But there is only one Radiant Ward in the area. It's above the rush, so have not been spotted just yet.
Alright, so they're going through. I mean, Alf just rips apart the tower. There's no contest for that. On the backlands, you've got a solo Dusa. Oh, QO Hun, what are you doing? Takes an unstable concoction. Mana getting burned up. The mana shield won't help you for long. He's silenced. He can't do much of anything. His team is nowhere to be found. It's going to be a dominating streak from the Alchemist 4-0-12. He's feeling unreal in terms of net worth. Now, mid lane, there might be some sort of tower trade. As MP, he's sitting here behind the tower. Will be able to TP out as he is magic immune. They're not going to pop anything for it. But in backlands, they get the Dream Coil onto Dubu. It's just an Earth Sphere, but why not rake in the extra kill? Puck showing off that Dagon too, and we'll be able to secure a killing spree off the back of that. So MVP, it seems like they're grasping at straws. They're throwing their Dusa in the Radiant jungle with very little vision aside from these wards. They don't know where the Radiant heroes are, and then they lose to in the mid. Oh god, it's tough if you're MVP.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in at the mid tier 3. You saw it down bottom with the Dusa. These heroes on MVP that are supposed to be incredibly tanky and hard to bring down are just paper against this TNC squad. It's almost like they're fighting a team of 5 supports at this point, and they'll get an Aegis. This will be almost certain, and it's a miracle from MVP to defend their high ground at this point.
All right, so Roshan will end up going down again. I apologize for my weather effects. I was playing last night and forgot to turn them off. Will be fixed for game number 2. So glowy white Roshan goes down in favor of TNC, and that's going to be an Aegis on the Viper. Going to be very, very hard to kill this dragon. We haven't talked a whole lot about him since the laning stage, but he has been holding onto that helm. Did end up going in for the Manta style as opposed to the S and Y, so he's going all in. This is aggro Viper. He wants ultra utility. He wants to push, and he wants to push now. TNC, they're not messing around. They know they have a power spike, and they're gaining a ton of momentum, but they aren't leaving a whole lot of room for MVP to get back in this as they initiate onto Febby. They're dropping the Dream Coil for the Phoenix, and Phoenix is trying to kite him the best he can, but one illusion orb from Sam H will secure a dominating streak. That's going to be 8 kills for the Puck right now here at 26 minutes in. This guy, too, is just super, super rich for an offlane Puck. He's keeping par with what a mid Puck would have.
Yeah, exactly. And this comes down to the decision from MVP to spend so much time with their supports in the bot lane, trying to sort of pressure down the Viper. But Viper, a hero who is hard to pressure in lane. I mean, he's tanky, actually, thanks to his skills. It's a lot of wasted time for the forces. They don't hold out the Puck. The Puck gets tons of XP. They don't even hold out the Viper, as he's second net worth. So everything kind of fell apart in the laning stage, and now, well, things are hard. And the crazy thing is, every single one of TNC pros would love an Aghanim Scepter this game. So even when TNC or Teehee gets himself 6 slotted, there's still plenty of room for his squad to grow with his gold.
I mean, who is the first Ags you give out? Do you go onto the Viper? Do you grab it onto the Puck? Do you even give it to the Lion first?
I think it's a trade-off between either the Puck or the Viper. The Puck Dream Coil is just so incredibly strong. It's just, I think, 8 seconds of coil duration and then 6 seconds of stun duration if it breaks. But they don't have any magic immunity other than Juggernaut Spin on the Dire side. So maybe they give it to the Viper instead. The ability to both the Jug and the Axe is incredibly valuable in team fights. So could be a good just there.
We did have a push out from MVP Phoenix. They are actually keeping this lane relatively pushed in onto the Radiant rather. But up top, you've got the Radiant ready to jump at any window onto this tier 3. MP is going to be taking up the front lines, has the Manta, has the Omni. And, well, everyone's sitting on their ultimates here, so MVP, this may be their big shot to hold their high ground as Alk just going to be plowing up, goes straight for the acid spray, straight onto the Dusa, is going to get called, but the call will end as Teehee is going to be sitting there, gets the unstable concoction onto Forev, nuked down from low ground. That's going to be a finger of death from your Lion. Now, MP looking for something here. He's got the Omni. Teehee is getting kind of low, but with the unstable, or rather the Chemical Rage, he's doing great. Phoenix going to be getting a kill onto Sam H. It's going to be a kill for Dusa, and now on the back lines, there is going to be a Chain Frost bouncing. QO in some trouble, wants to get the kill onto the Lich and will be successful, but it's going to be a trade. Now QO will end up going down. Dusa half buyback, may have to spend it to go in for the Phoenix. Phoenix is able to get the egg off. Now Febby back with full health, full mana, and Cuckoo is getting kind of low on the backlines. You've got Teehee going in like an animal. He's trying to regen up. The Chemical Rage will expire soon. He's got the Octarine, but may end up getting burned down here. He lives with a fraction of his health, will be able to get away okay. Mystic Snake will not bounce. They do want to turn back onto QO, but will not be able to do so this time. So TNC, I mean, I think they got a stern wake-up call that maybe they're not immortal pushing machines like they think they are.
Well, but still, was such a costly hold. 3 buyback forced out on all of your cores for MVP, and you only lose a 5-position support and an offlaner for that. I mean, worth it for TNC every time, even though they don't take down the tier 3. So many resources committed from MVP, and I mean, if the Deuce ever wanted a chance of getting back into this game, wasting gold on buyback was not part of that plan, as she is now sitting 3rd of the Alchemist's net worth. This is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, this game has to go to like 90 minutes if she wants to get back online. Now, Lion just kind of solo walking in. We'll pick up the rest of Deuce's creeps. We've seen Deuce walking back from a Lion rotation at 30 minutes in the game. That is exact opposite of what you want out of this hard carry QO hero. And I mean, Dusa has really great items if we're 15 minutes in the game. I mean, she's just grasping at nothing. The buyback was very expensive. I want to say that was about 1,800, 1,700 gold right out of her pocket, so her item will be delayed. She's got nice stats, stepping stones with the Aquila and the drum, but she needs her utility. I mean, she's got the Yasha, she's got the Maelstrom to keep the lanes pushed out, but I mean, compare that to the Viper and it's absurd. Compare that to the Alk and you are in 2 different leagues.
It's really interesting from Q he's chosen to go for very aggressive items. He's got the Maelstrom, the Yasha, so he's really holding heavy on any of the stats, not trying to tank himself up at all, just looking for as much damage as he can pump out. And, you know, against with Dagon level 4 and a level 2 death from, and I'm not sure that's the play. He just needs some more HP. He needs to be able to survive and throw damage.
Disa has no EP. She's really focused on these ancients. She's got one in her stash, but it's a cost for tier 3 dollar here. It's not Alka willing away at it. Alka is still sitting very nice. It's got a nice scan revealing everyone's below ground. Not much of a surprise if you're MVP. Now the Artico for Rev will just be getting slapped back by those options. And now it looks like Cuckoo will be silenced up. That could be the window of initiation they're going in for. They get the Mystic Snake off Cuckoo. He is burning, but it's only a support item. As now everyone else will be able to turn on to QO. Q has 5 at the end. He's gonna through. We'll call that victim cage, and looks like T-Heat may end up jailing his son onto him. Bug's gonna be on the class going through buyback from the line immediately. And that's a scoop for Rich Lion Pug. Right damage. Next up, Sam H. Sam H is gonna go down. There's a magnet up front. Following on the back. We may have T-Heat going down. T-Heat does go down. Big kill with them, but Alk will end up buying back. So you still everyone are relatively healthy on the side of TNC. There are some buybacks, and it's only the Phoenix left defending. I think Phoenix goes down here. I think it's game, as you know, Febby does going in the fountain, and no buyback on Medusa. First racks will fall, and GG will be called out in favor of TNC for one. What happened here, Sindar?
The links bitch happened. He had a plan involved roaming the Phoenix and the Earth Spirit around. It didn't hold down the offlaner, they didn't hold down the safe lane Viper, and they certainly didn't hold down the Alchemist. And, you know, after 7 or 8 minutes, we're behind in kills, the cores were breaking behind the arm, and it just continued from there. You know, we've got heroes like the Axe, like the Dude, the Juggernaut. These heroes all, and MVP were so behind 15 to 20 minute mark. They just had no space to get that farm. Medusa died 11 times that game.